Hello there, and welcome to A Film a Day, award season 2023, with me, Jordan Woodley. We're getting this tradition now in award season of at least one film wanting to directly channel a theatrical tradition in how it's represented on film, whether that is a direct theatre adaptation or whether it's a film that is trying to honour theatre in some way. A film like One Night in Miami, which could easily have been staged in the manner of a theatre play. The Whale is a tricky one because on some levels you can really see why people are behind it in regards to Brendan Fraser and his performance, the fact that a lot of work has been done to really develop this character, both the work he has done and also the prosthetic work that has been done to create this horrifically suffering person. But at its core, the problem with the film is the fact that it is constrained by this desire to be like the theatre show. I think ultimately it is a flawed film. I think there are things within it that are really quite strong, and like I said with Babylon, there are moments in it that you think that is a phenomenal performance, or the way that this has been blocked and framed, or this particular interaction really shows the strengths of the characters, the style of the directing. But there's just so much of it that just feels off, that doesn't quite come together in the way that I think Darren Aronofsky really wants to create. You know, there are lots of play adaptations, like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, like The Father, that really, even though they're adaptations of plays, really find ways to build the cinematography and to really expand beyond the four walls that they are structured around. Or even the first act of a film like Room, which really uses the space and yet explores the spatial dynamic of it. Whereas The Whale it really does feel like it struggles with that. I do think there are some exceptional performances in it. I mean, Brendan Fraser is phenomenal in it. Really, this is his, as people like to refer, Fraisonaissance or Brendonaissance. I'm not sure what the term is at the moment, but this really feels like his time. But and even actresses like Samantha Morton, who has an exceptionally short scene in it, or Hong Chow, who really plays off against him so well, but it still feels like the sum does not meet, or the parts do not meet the sum of its whole, and I think that's where it's going to really struggle. I think it's really difficult to represent this kind of experience. I fully understand the criticisms that people have about the representation of someone with that level of morbid obesity, and I think that's extremely difficult. The argument being maybe it should have been performed by someone who has that level of issue, but then, as the George Clooney adaptation was trying to do, or the George Clooney treatment of it, it just doesn't, it struggles with that. But I understand that representing someone like that from the perspective of someone who is healthy is difficult and troubling for people. It's a shame, because I do think there's something there, and I think it is an interesting character piece. It's not even Aronofsky's amongst his greats. I don't think it touches the sides of something like Black Swan or Requiem for a Dream. And even when we're talking about Best Actor, I still so strongly feel that Banshees of Inisherin feels like it has so much more going on that I'm more interested in. That I wouldn't be surprised if The Whale wins, particularly the Oscar, but in my heart of hearts, I think I would prefer Banshees to win. whatever the case, I do think it is worthwhile and there is something there, but it's just, I suppose I'm feeling an overwhelming sense of disappointment. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.